Let's read about some historical information. This is from Cyprus, and during the period uh, in which Cyprus was a British colony, and uh, there are some information in the old documents about uh, animal exploitation, and there are some quite interesting facts. Uh, at least to me, I didn't know these things. So just in here, just within two paragraphs, it's mentioning that um, a trade deal between Egypt and Cyprus of poultry and eggs, and an industry, paying industry, might soon be developed. So these people are all concerned about uh, making money and how to make more money. Just exploit it and make more money. Then it mentions about breeding sheep for wool production. It says that um, from 1861 to 1907, the wool production in sheep has doubled. It mentions about Australian sheep, and it says that Cypriots also should uh, keep this in mind. Have such scientific methods for breeding these sheep to have more wool. Uh, so they are promoting this to Cypriot people. You can guess that Australian uh, sheep, they were already, this the scientific method, the evolution, all these advances. Uh, as a colonizer, British Empire was very advanced in this, so they were using these scientific methods to exploit everything at maximum capacity. And uh, Cyprus, it wasn't that developed um, technologically at that time. So when they came, they said, use those scientific methods to exploit more. Why don't you just do this so we can make more money? And that's what they did. They extracted copper. They in other documents it was mentioning that they were um, basically punishing uh, citizens of Cyprus. Um, so private people, they couldn't um, produce silk. Uh, if someone saw that they were producing silk, if they had silk worms, then they were punished by sentencing to prison sentence, and the only ones who could produce uh, silk was the government. Uh, so the governments were giving, allowing uh, corporations to produce silk, and so within 45 in Australia, within 45 years they could double the wool production of sheep. So when people say the sheep needs to be sheared, their hair needs to be removed because it's too much for them, keep this in mind that people did this. Greedy, money hungry people who wanted to exploit more and more, they did this. And sheep doesn't need to be abused or tortured if they were not uh, altered, their nature altered to the point, even within 45 years, you can alter an animal, just like the chickens. The chickens, uh, so-called broiler chicken, the broiler chickens, um, their size also increased within, it was like 30, 40 years, 50 years. uh, they grew, even like it was like 30 years or so. They grew huge, that they couldn't even stand, uh, due to their disproportional growth of their skeletons and muscles. So, it is not an excuse to say these animals are bred for this purpose. It is not a justification at all. If we took, um, cats or dogs and bred them to give milk, let's say, would this be okay to make them pregnant each year, steal their babies, murder their babies, and take away their milk just because they were bred for this purpose? So just because animals are manipulated, their nature is manipulated, this is already an abuse, this is already wrong, and it should be stopped, and uh, shouldn't be continued. When you say um, that these animals were bred for this purpose, you are saying we made a terrible mistake, we were greedy, and but we want to keep being greedy, we want to keep our mistakes. So what vegans are promoting, what we are saying is that this was terrible, and realize that this was a huge mistake and stop doing this.